Actually, my problem's not medical. It's psychological.
Pretty much do this with any brand new Snatch block, just the way it sticks up. The bolt that goes through that holds it together sticks too far down, so you gotta hacksaw that off. We always put square stock. It doesn't have to be square stock. You can use round too. It's usually around, I think it's 1 inch or 3/4, just enough to cover the areas that are sticking up, if you know what I'm saying, so they don't catch on stuff. Mine's been fine up till this point, until we got this 24 low, and this is probably the 3rd time I've used it, and yes, it catches every time, so I'm doing this now. Daddy says if you gotta use a grinder, you're not a welder. Well, I'm fucking suffering. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there's grease, probably. Metal wasn't clean enough. I don't know, struggling not too bad over here. Maybe too hot, too cold. I don't know. I tried adjusting shit. It wasn't winning at all. First time I used this welder. That one right there is pretty sick. We won't talk about the rest, but it'll do its job. At least it's the new shiny one. Still needs hub oil though. Not in those are grease. Come back from dropping off that cat, he's like, you need to take a coil on at 5:30. It's literally like 4 kilometers on Highway 11, top of the hill, just leaving Red Deer, so I'm like, alright, guess I can do. I don't want to, I'd rather just go home. So I got back to town at like 1:30. It's now 4:30, 4:45. Yeah, that is. Whoops. What's that one? That one is food. Concerned when stuff is low when it's brand new. Sometimes you can't tell it's leaking. I've had it. I mean, like, leak, not I've had it, I fucking quit. Decent. Bro's next to taking out the mast unit. Trican, planetary, day cab, Peterbilt. Sick. I'm like, can we get one of those? Wish I had planets. So I can stop blowing rear ends and transmissions and yokes. Anyways, we'll take this up the hill. His hubs are good on the outside. I don't want to crawl underneath there, and the fact that someone rubbed a curb. Just go on top of the hill and not even worry about it. Dudes be building everything out of aluminum. It sticks to nothing. Except for this, way up here. It's gonna be too far back. Like, what are you doing up there? Nothing. You can see the truck? Not really. This is bullshit. Not happy with it, but we'll use it. hack truck coming out. This is a perfect opportunity to grab some cameras, you know. I don't want to leave it on that view. Boo-ba-doo-boo-boo, nuts himself. Chains are dragging. There's mud on stuff. It's the deadly game of hacky sack. I mean, not hacky sack. Hurry up and wait. It wasn't even hurry, it was just be here. And we might put you to work, we might not. Wireline truck's still pulling plugs. Could be some time. Got 4 hours and 44 minutes left in my log. there at 5:30. It is now 9 p.m. And I gotta be back at the shop at 5. Up beside me, mud's gonna be flying off my tires. But this is Alberta. I know you're impatient. So yeah, we had a little bit of waiting time, obviously. It's 9 p.m. Wireline, I think I already explained it. We had to wait for wireline to finish doing what they were doing, and they were getting out of the way. And then wireline left, and I'm sitting there twiddling. I'm like, come on. And then it's right at the time where the sun is setting right in my face. I can't see anything. Okay, maybe you're used to being spotted like with a truck push on a drilling rig maybe, and Trican does all right, you know, but they're kind of like, you get close and then we'll tell you what we need. But I'm struggling to get close because I'm blinded by the sun. I get the handheld, but I didn't get the handheld with the mic. I don't know if it's louder or quieter. So I had the windows down so I could see better through my awesome clean glass that's scratched to shit when the sun shines on it, or you get any light on it. I can't really see what's going on in the mirror. Like I can, but not to the finest detail where I'm like, whoa, you hit the wellhead. So I always roll down the windows so I can make sure I can see as crisp as possible. But it's not bad. 9. I'm handing all my paperwork for the last 4 days. And rip home, straight into bed. I did tell my wife, I was like, don't wait for me for dinner, because I was like, oh yeah, I should be home by like 6:37. Easily. I'm like, don't wait to make dinner. Just go ahead and make it, and I'll reheat it, and just like cram it down my yap hole and go to bed with a stomach full of spaghetti. It's always great. And you know I'll be getting up at 3. Because I ought to edit. I got footage I gotta dump. I got 3 days worth of like video footage I gotta dump. That's gonna take me an hour. So I can make sure the camera is empty for tomorrow, because I'm taking it with me. I got a little bit of footage last time we did this stuff with our bed, like well, it was the beginning of this week, but whatever, I'm gonna get some more. I get to drive Raylin bad. Of course I'm gonna take some footage. Which I don't know why we're not using ours, but whatever. I think he's just trying to flex, maybe. I'll take the bigger bag because it's 400. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. I'm like surprised that it's 400 inch and it's an 18 speed with a 4-speed auxiliary, with Clark's, with a cat. And it only does, well, I don't know. He said he was like doing 70 and it was, I'm like, what's the happy idle? Like, I'm not gonna string it out for 3 hours out there and 3 hours on the way back. He's like, I'm doing like 74 and it's screaming. I'm like, oh, jeez. So I'm like 68. Not blowing all the oil out of it, maybe? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Slow drive, an hour and a half drive is going to take me 3 hours. Or I'm giving myself 3 hours. I'm like, I'll be late versus being, I mean, I'll be early versus late is what I meant to say, you idiot. I was going to get fuel, but I'm not now. Fuck that. But anyways, we're just going to go out tomorrow, move some fairly large buffers. I'm sure there'll be like some other stuff to go along with it. Last time was move the buffers and pull down a bunch of acid tanks. Well, 5, you know. how fun it is to pull down 400 barrel tanks in the biggest bed you can get. It sucks. Dead feeling. You have to go on visuals. But anyways, that's enough chitty chatty. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching and peace out.